How we doing, everybody? It's been a while. Did you miss me? I missed you. So, where were we? Where are we going? On our box, on our sound box, on the cigar box, on our body, whatever you want to call it, we have our notches, right? And we dry fit our neck. Speaking of our neck, I've been sanding it with 220 in between coats of oil. I'm using just a BioShield hard oil. You could do True Oil if you want. Whatever you kind of hope for. I'm not going for like a real high gloss finish or anything on it. On this guy, I think I'm keeping things a little more subdued, a little more homemade looking, maybe rustic, if you will. But as you balance your time in between steps, I always like to start my day or my work session with some oil on whatever it might be, electric guitar, candle box, table, whatever it is I'm making, then do whatever else I can. Have the clock be your friend, right? Don't be sitting around waiting for the oil to dry. Do stuff while that oil is drying. So anyway, that's what I've been alternating with this. But our next step on our body is our sound holes. So with your kit, you got 2 screened grommets, I believe is what they call them. In the manual, they tell you don't have to use both. I'm going to, because they gave you both. You paid for both. Why not? Maybe you can even go online and find a different style, and maybe you can do 4. One of their tips in the manual says about be conscious of where you're putting it. All right. So if we think about this, an acoustic guitar, that sound hole is underneath the strings, but on here, they are showing them being in the corners. They could be across from one another. They could be parallel. It's kind of up to you. But if you went and bought your own, maybe you can do 4. Maybe you can do 5. I don't know. Maybe you could take a hole saw or a larger drill bit and cut a large hole, almost replicating an acoustic guitar. I think that's maybe an interesting concept you could explore and we could talk about. I'm going to just kind of follow the standard deal here. And what I did was I took my combination square and my ruler, and I came in 1.25 inches from both edges. The other thing they talk to you about is what size drill bit to use and things like that. I'm always a big fan of start with a pilot hole. If you have a center punch, that'd be great. I don't have one handy, so I'm just going to use a small bit here as kind of my center punch. Of course, if you feel comfortable wearing safety glasses when you do this, you can go ahead and do that. If you're teaching in school, obviously do that. So I'm going to take my time, line that up, and just real gently go down through there. Okay. Then they talk to you about, you could do a 1/2 inch hole to fit these grommets that come in your kit, or a 5/8. But if you read through it, it says do a 1/2 inch and then sand it or file it to a better fit. So that's what I'm going to try. Also, my standard drill bit set only goes up to 1/2 inch anyway. All right, so again, I have that pilot hole now. The bit can find it nice and easy. Okay. I have 2 holes. Now you could, if you wanted, as we talk about different options, you don't even have to use the grommets if you don't want to. You could just drill a bunch of holes, make it like Swiss cheese or something. You don't have it here because you have the through of the neck. See, that's what happens when you think stuff out. That's why I like doing this. It's like I'm talking to you. It's an interesting idea with that sound hole. Maybe, I don't know, maybe. Now, one of the things I'm thinking with this is, okay, that's going to be a snug fit, but also couldn't that kind of rattle loose over time? So I'm going to add a little CA glue, also known as super glue, or for you Lego fans, the Craggle. And one of my pet peeves is I hate when super glue is on my fingers. I hate it. So of course you can use nail polish remover, acetone, things like that. But still, like, it can't be good for you, right? Getting that stuff on. And I'm just going to take a little bit. Because I don't want it to be sloppy looking either, right? So I'm actually going to do it this way. That way, if it drips down onto my butcher paper here, my craft paper. And I'm just going to add a little bit to this. All right, so we got our sound hole inserts in. One of the things that we talked about was maybe gluing it in, getting a nice snug fit. I did have a little hammer, which happened to be right in my drawer here, and I did tap it. When I did that, I didn't hammer this way. I hammered with the lid like this.